Hello guys, it's Zells here, and today we'll be continuing Piano for Beginners. Now that way, let's get into it. Different types of dynamics. We have covered the most basic and widely used dynamic instructions, but there are plenty of other ones that you'll come across. These are some of these. Some of these are real tongue twisters. You see P P P P P P on the stave. This means PIANISSISSISSISSISSISSIMO, or as softly as possible. There are also combined markings such as pianoforte, PF, which means soft and then immediately loud, or mezzoforte, MFP, meaning start mildly loud and then instantly drop to a softer volume. There are also symbols that affect dynamics such as accents, and sometimes with dynamic direction they'll be written out in plain English. Set and change the tempo. Ensure your jigs and jolly and your ballads are slow and beautiful by learning the essentials of musical tempo. Another aspect of music that helps bring the notes to life is tempo. The word comes from the Latin word tempus, meaning time, and indicates to the musician how fast or slow the music should be played. You can also direct the mood or feel. You'll see the tempo marked at the top of the first stave. And it's effective throughout the piece unless the composer states otherwise. There are two ways that can be expressed. The first is in beats per minute or beats per minutes. This is a rather precise measurement, and you use a metronome to help you keep in perfect time. The time is going to tell you to keep the number of beats in each bar. The tempo tells you what the speed at which to play these beats. On top of the stave, you'll see a particular type of note, e.g. a crotchet or a quarter note, with the beats per minute value next to it. This means that the crotchet or quarter note is specified to the beat. The number, e.g. 120, the number of beats that must be played per minute. The other way of directing tempo is by a series of Italian phrases, which are much more repetitive, just like the Italian phrases that deal with music dynamics. You'll come across many phrases that indicate the pace or mood from the music. Check out the table below right for the most common terms. Oof. Oof. Common tempo directions. Learn these and set yourself up for the future. In addition to some of the flamboyant Italian tempo directions, there are a select few that will come across time and time again. Concentrate on these to begin with, and you'll be off to a good start. Ooh. There are also phrases that can link tempo instructions together. For example, molto means very, so maybe you'll spell molto venens, which means very lively. Good. You may also come across morato, which you may guess means moderately. For example, moderate violence. Do this. There are phrases that can link tempo instructions together. Add articulations to notes. Find notes with character and style by familiarizing yourself with articulations. When you begin, when you're reading music alongside being given general direction for the whole piece and the technical instructions on what notes to play at what time, you also come across markings which show you how to play individual notes in terms of style. No matter what it is, you'll still need to know what kind of emphasis to put on it. This is where articulations come in. These small symbols are found either above or below an individual note. On a position on stage. Articulations can alter the way you play each note, and one will create relationships between the notes themselves. Instructions such as staccato, shown by a small dot, but be careful not to confuse this with a dotted note. This can tell you to play the notes in a detached and clipped manner. Conversely, when you see markings for a legend note, lines which tie notes to the group patches together, but different ties which connect the notes at the same pitch. You notice slow the notes with no audible spaces. Some symbols directly add accents to the note, and there are some alterations such as separato or SFC that deal with volume and are considered as dynamics. There are also calculations that cross a border into tempo territory such as fermata. In the same way that dynamics, tempo, and calculations all layer up to create marvelous music, ornaments simply add to this with little quirks and fiddly bits that match the tune. They're easy to recognize, and you might find that the hardest part is getting your fingers around them on the piano keys. Ornaments are noted as small symbols above specific notes. There are 4 kinds that you need to know. Start for trill, which is really simple. Play a note and a note above it alternately in quick succession. Next is the turn, which is also easy. It's 4 notes and the note above. It's 4 notes: the note above, the main note, the note below, and the main note again. Then there's a mordent, which is 3 notes. There are 2 kinds of mordent, upper and lower. For upper mordents, play the main note, then the note above it, then you play the main note once more. Lower notes have the same principle. You play the note below and main note in the middle. The last ones are grace notes. These are single note ornaments that appear on the stave as mini notes. Next, the main note. There are 2 categories, artica and ediboca. You like that? All ornaments must be played the duration of the note they're assigned to. For example, a trill on a quarter quaver 8 note must last no longer than the quaver 8 notes beat. Playing the piano. With your new knowledge of music theory, you can now master the building blocks of piano music. Chords, scales, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Start playing the notes very slowly and sweetly. Once you have done a few slow repetitions, you can build up speed. First thing we do, warm up our hands. Later on, we get to the F major scale. Warm up your hands. Limbering up before you practice and play is an essential part of learning piano. In the same way that an athlete must warm up the body before running a race, a pianist must warm up before they play music. Although not as physically taxing as running the 100 miles, going through a few short piano exercises before you begin is a sure way to enhance the way you play. Relaxing your shoulders, arms, wrists, and hands will enable you to flow through the music. Your finger density will be improved, enabling you to both find and reach the keys quickly and easily. Putting no obstacle between occipital between you and the notes on the page. You'll also enjoy practicing piano more too, because if you wanted to warm up properly, you won't get achy fingers, wrists, or back. Warming up also avoids getting cramp in your hands, which can be quite painful. If you limber up and your physical posture is correct, you'll be able to comfortably play for as long as you like. You can also use regular hand exercise to strengthen your fingers and even stretch your reach to enhance the notes you'll be able to play and the way you play them. Physical tension can translate into music. If you're uncomfortable, your music might sound uncomfortable. It's important to prepare yourself properly before you develop any bad habits that can be difficult to combat. Here we'll show you some simple exercises to start with. Which you can build upon for a top-notch warm-up repetition to kick off your practice seasons and eventually your concerts with. C major, A minor. Scales in music are series of notes that are arranged into a specific sequence which can be either ascending or descending. Usually start and end on the same note, i.e. C, separated by an octave. Scales will normally flow at a set pattern of either semitones, half steps, or tones, full steps. Three most common forms of scales are major, a happy sounding scale, minor, a sad sounding scale, chromatic, a scale whose sound is ambiguous and made up of semitones. There are, however, different types of minor scale with the subtle differences in their makeup. Learning scales on the piano is important for a number of reasons. It'll enable you to learn your piano quickly. It'll become very important when performing music in various keys. It will also help strengthen up your fingers and increase their agility, which will improve your ability to play tricky passages. The circle of fifths. A circle of fifths. A visual and easy way of remembering the key of the scale is to use the circle of fifths. The circle shows the relationship between the 12 tones of musical scale to work out how many sharps or flats a key singer should have. Follow the circle clockwise. Major on the outside, minor on the inside. For example, if we take a look at A minor, the key signature will have 3 sharps, these being F, C, and G. Inside the part of the circle shows off the relative minor forms letters, and in this case it will be F sharp minor. When you look at this, your piano hands, knowing which fingers play which notes is vital. When looking at the scales playing this book, you'll notice tiny numbers next to the notes. These are fingers which you should play the notes. Playing scales using these finger patterns minimizes effort and enables you to concentrate on building up speed. Playing scales using these finger patterns minimizes effort. Learning the patterns. The theory behind some of the main types of scales. Scales are a great way to learn and your way around like a keyboard. But the way you play them also help you build up speed and accuracy. Okay, so you can't argue that they're the most exciting thing to play in the world. But thanks to their strict patterns, you can play a scale in any key without being able to read music. The pattern relates to the distance between the notes in each scale and be measured in semitones, which is the gap between each note on the keyboard. An interval of 2 semitones is known as a note. So the interval between C and C sharp is a semitone. But the interval between C and D is a tone. But be warned, you shouldn't make the mistake of thinking that the distance between all white notes is a tone. In actual fact, the interval between B and C, as well as E and F, is only a mere semitone because there are no black keys between them. Major scale. The major scale's pattern goes like so. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, tone. Semitone. Example, you can see, we take C major scale as an example. You can see that the 2 semitone interval is full, where there are accent white keys between E and F, and between B and C. Any major scale you care to name, use this formula. As long as you know where the first note is, you can easily work out the rest of the scale. Why did I do that? That's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. And see you again very, very soon. Later.